hurt us in terms of.
No, it won't.
Even if that was muted.
Texting. 8169er.
911.
911. Welcome to a Man Up Monday here in a frosty, frigid, dare I say, cold sack. It is Monday Night Football, and that will be segment 2. We've got the bitter old rivals, the Raiders and the Chiefs, going at it. We will update with you on that in segment 2. We are going to start with segment 1. Major League Baseball ends that first weekend of the 2 out of 3 series. I got to tell you, look at who won these. There was a lot of surprises if you were betting. But we talked about this before the tournament started, in that the league was deep this year with good teams. So if you think about it, it really shouldn't be a surprise, because we previewed the matches and we were like, this is going to go 3. He thought they were all going to go 3. So that's how he thought they were. So I'm not.
It's kind of weird that there was only one 3-game series.
There was only one that went to 3 out of all. That's the surprising part. Mm-hmm. So, but the bottom line is, a couple of those teams people didn't think were going to win.
Well, I think it's like in a 3-game series, when you lose that first game, it's demoralizing.
It's magnified by
It is really. You go into game 2 really tight.
You do.
So to force a third game is.
Which the Mets did do that.
Well, that's all they did.
That's the last thing they did. By the way, that is the redoubtable Tom Izzo. I am the highly questionable Roger Milaccio. Welcome to IDD. For those who know, I don't disagree on a Man Up Monday. We're going to have Major League Recap, segment 1. My friend has something he needs to get off his chest, and I'll bet you can imagine what it is. Probably the bat, because then he'll be the person that actually got the bat off his shoulder. But one fucking hit. Oh my God. This is your thing. Anyway, segment 1, Major League Baseball recap, the first Sunday of the best 2 out of 3. Yeah, some things happen that people make, but if you didn't study these teams, I'm not surprised at some of these
Should we talk
outcomes.
about the other series first?
That is up to you.
Let's do that.
This is yours.
Let's do that, because if we don't, I'm going to go on and on and on about the Mets,
all right.
and we'll only give like 30 seconds to the games.
Well,
I think this is kind of funny how we eat on camera.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. That's right. By the way, when you're watching sports, what the hell are you doing? So one would think, well, we're talking about sports. You get a beer, you get this, you get that, whatever. You get some food, get some snacks, and
you get a Coke Zero cherry.
You indulge. So anyway, Major League Baseball, this was the first edition.
They nailed it.
Yeah, I thought they did.
They nailed it with this.
They really did. I loved it.
I loved it. Four series happening at the same time.
4 games every day. It was like, I loved it. There was enough drama to go around. There was. A lot of good things happened. Some Cinderellas that are still at the dance. Midnight has not struck.
There were some crazy endings.
There really were. Yeah, they were. I mean, I wish more of the series had gone to the deciding 3rd game. But what did happen was pretty damn exciting. Yeah. I mean, Toronto blowing an 8-1 lead.
Let's start
that
there.
Should have gone to a 3rd game. Okay, Toronto did everything they could to give this away, and eventually did.
But here's the funny thing, okay? And I'm going to make this about the Mets because that's what I do.
Yeah, of course.
That's got to be one of the worst losses in Major League history.
What inning was it when the comeback started? Was it the 5th?
It was the 5th or 6th.
Yeah, 8-1. Yeah.
Well, see, they scored 4 runs in the 5th or 6th. They scored a run on a wild pitch, and then Santana hit a 3-run bomb and made it 8-5.
Yep.
The very next inning, Toronto made it 9-5.
Yeah.
And then I believe it was it the 6th when that thing happened with the 2 guys colliding in the outfield?
That was the 7th inning, I think. By the way, if you didn't see that, oh my God.
It was Dante Bichette and George Springer.
Where is the communication? Calling each other out. Look at how many highlight.
It was loud.
How many highlight reels do we got to see? I don't care, but you got to look. You got to know. You got to look. These aren't rookies.
I know.
Believe me, the communication was terrible. They both got seriously hurt. They thought they bases cleared on what should have been the 3rd out.
I heard Harold Reynolds say. So Dan Plesac said George Springer can't lay out there. He's like, it's a 3-run game. Mm-hmm. If the ball bounces in front of you, you're still up by a run.
You are.
Right? Because the person from first can't score.
Yep.
Now, Harold Reynolds argued that he would have scored anyway because on AstroTurf, the ball shoots up. But I think he would have been able to corral the ball in front of him and get it into the infield. It would have been first and third.
Yeah.
With 2 outs, you're still up by a run.
Still up by a run.
But he goes into full-on dive, Springer does.
Yeah.
And Bichette nails him with his arm or his knee.
Yeah, I mean...
And all 3 runs score, and it's tied at 9.
Whatever stance you take on that, I understand. Because if he makes the catch, or one of them makes the catch, then they're out of the inning and no harm, no foul. And they dodge a major bullet.
They're out of the inning and they're up 9-6.
They're up 9-6. So, I mean, I get the whole layout thing, but if you're going to lay it, you better damn well get it and not take out your teammate.
But the thing is, when you look back and see the dive,
yeah,
it doesn't even look like he dove near the ball. Like, it was almost like they, instead of watching the ball, they watched each other, and they almost went into each other, like they were like.
Well, they did.
It was like they were drawn to each other.
I mean, it was like, gravity was pulling them. It was weird.
It was like, instead of going for the ball, they were like, no, I need to run into him.
The rule is, and you ever played baseball, you learn this at the very little.
Well, that's the center fielder's ball.
Yeah, it's the center fielder's ball. You can't see what's going on behind you. He can see the whole field. And if he has to catch that, he has to be the one to throw the guy out from first because he has momentum. You can't turn around and make that throw. It's the outfielder's ball.
There's 2 outs, though.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry. But if it was 1 out, anyway, the rule, if it was 1, still, it's the same rule applies.
Regardless.
So my thing is, I see both sides of it. I'm sure the Blue Jays are going to spend about 6 months reliving that play in their head as how they could have done it.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough one. And look, they were making the effort, so you can't get on them about that. To me, and again, the place was loud.
Yeah.
I mean, but you got to be screaming. Somebody's got to be yelling something, smoke signals, anything
but
to
still,
avoid that. That was the worst thing that could have happened.
But still,
absolutely the worst thing that could have happened.
But still, that's only 3 out of the 9 runs they scored.
Yeah,
after they had 1. Mm-hmm. You're down 7-1.
Yeah.
And you win 10-9. It was more than just that play.
The what?
The manager blew the game when he pulled the starter. Did you see that?
I did. I still can't wrap my head around that one. I don't get it.
The starter.
I just don't get it.
The starter was cruising. Who was it? I can't even remember. I don't even know his name. But he's cruising along. It's 8-1.
His pitch count wasn't bad.
When he got pulled, it was high, but he could have finished the inning.
Yeah.
He was at like 95 pitches, I think. But here's the thing. So he comes on, a guy gets a hard hit ball. Mm-hmm. Okay, man on first. Mm-hmm. Then a couple of like soft hits. One was an outfield pop-up. The other might have been a walk.
Yeah.
And that's with no outs, the bases are loaded. Strikeout. Mm-hmm. So now it's bases loaded, 2 outs, and he pulls them. Mm. Okay, so
he got back-to-back guys.
Right. So he got into trouble. He's getting out of trouble.
You're kind of in a rhythm. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the whole.
Well, it's over managing.
Yeah. Well, this is the whole.
And not
it's an analytics versus a feel.
Right.
This is why I hate analytics, because you can't. Analytics cannot account for what's happening in the game.
Analytics doesn't know what's going on.
Doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't understand the situation. Doesn't understand what it doesn't think. He just spits numbers at you. Okay. So, and I swear to God, we're going to talk about this in segment 2 with that stupid LA Chargers coach did it again. Anyway, I can't stand. This is a feel thing. His point about show. This is a feel thing. You gotta know. I mean, I'm sorry. Who's the manager for the Jays?
I don't know. I don't.
I know.
I can find them.
Yeah. But you got to know, it's a feel versus the numbers. The numbers say one thing. The numbers don't always tell the story. What that statement means is it doesn't tell you the feel, the momentum, the this, the that, the scenario. Nothing. It doesn't tell you what's going on.
John Schneider. I never knew him before that.
Never. Yeah.
But yeah, it's almost like
it's a feel.
It's almost like okay. So he came out. The bases are loaded, and if you've not watched anything of this game, and you walk in on it. Bases loaded, guys at 95 pitches. There's 2 outs and the bases loaded. You think to yourself, this guy needs to come out. But if you're watching the game the whole time and you see, okay, the bases are loaded, but he didn't just get blasted.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like a couple of things didn't go his way. Now the bases are loaded.
No.
Then he just struck out 2 guys with filthy stuff.
Yeah.
And you go, okay,
now's the
time for me to. If you were going to pull him when the bases are loaded and no outs. you know? But after he strikes the 2 guys out, you go to the bullpen, first pitch guy throws is 50 feet 6 inches.
Never understood
and
that.
spikes out. So now a run scores.
Yep.
The next pitch is over the fence for 3 runs.
3 runs.
And now it's 8-5.
I don't listen. This is the thing. To your point, overthinking it.
Yeah.
It's like, look, just what's happening right in front of you right now, and then what does common sense tell you what to do? I don't take a guy who's just mowed down back-to-back hitters.
Yeah.
I don't do it. I'm like, no, he's got 2. He can finish it.
But still,
if they're hitting, like, to your point, if it's a Wild Thing Vaughn moment where it's like that, they're fucking everywhere. You know, then take him out.
Right. Right. If it was 3 bullets.
Yeah, 3 like he's laser show. No,
right.
Laser show. Then you yank him, but not when you mow down back-to-back guys. That doesn't tell me you're getting tired. That tells me you're pissed. Okay? And the guy who's pissed in that moment who's just done that, like, let him finish it. Let him go. We're good.
But the crazy part is, they were still up 3.
They were still ahead.
And they went up 4 after that.
They were still,
They went 9-5 after that. So a lot went wrong for them. It sucks for them.
It does.
You hate losing like that.
Yeah.
And that was a good team, too.
It was.
That's a good Blue Jays team.
Yeah. So
sucks to be them.
maybe them. And then,
But
then there was.
But the Mariners, though, I want to see the Mariners go.
See, they're my Cinderella.
That's an interesting team.
Yeah.
No, dude, you said Toronto was going to beat them.
No. I said it was going to go 3, and I said they're the ones that I think could pull off the upset.
No.
I didn't predict they were going to pull it off. I said it wouldn't surprise me if they won.
I predicted it.
Well, I didn't surprise me because I said
You were on the Guardians. I was on the Mariners.
the Guardians won too, didn't they?
They did.
They did, which
They
actually shocked me.
Yeah, let's jump to that one.
Yeah, I mean, no, let's stick with the Mariners for a minute. They got they're on a roll.
Oh, yeah.
They broke a 16-year drought, whatever it was, before the beginning, and now they're in the second round. Hey,
Them versus the Astros.
that's going to be interesting.
I think the Astros are definitely a better team, but the Mariners are hot.
Listen,
They
that's
just
the thing.
just came back from
The better
7-1.
team
That's
doesn't
a
always.
different
We've
team.
seen this. The better team doesn't always win. Mm-hmm. You know, momentum is a funny thing, and if you have a good look at the Mariners are a good team. They got pitching time. They're hitting. They get listen, and they're not afraid of the moment. Big thing. They are not afraid of the moment.
Yeah.
I can't tell you where that because you can't measure that. Mm-hmm. You just can't measure it. But I know this: the team that has that mentality is the most dangerous team because they're not afraid of it. They're like, oh yeah, now they're like this is all their whole thing was if we get in this dance, we can do this. That was their mindset.
Well,
and now
it shows 3 out of the 4 teams that lost were the home team with the better record.
Yeah. Which proves our point. We're saying this.
It's just like
It's
when
a
you get into
deep
the
league.
playoffs, it doesn't matter.
It's a deep league. I said there was only one team we thought couldn't win this thing, or at least win a round. And lo and behold, they won around. So, I mean, that's how balanced and deep we thought it was. And it actually has bared out that way. So, yeah, sidetracking from that, congratulations to the Mariners. Can't wait to see you in the second round against Houston. That's going to be a very interesting series.
Yes.
So, fast forward to the one we were starting to talk
Guardians.
about. Yeah, the Guardians, who,
Pitching go like crazy.
I'll tell you what, man.
It was exciting and boring.
But I love defense as much as I love offense. Because one without the other is kind of like, yeah, but who are you playing against? Like, yeah, but you had a team that like the Detroit Pistons used to have, or his Knicks back in the mid '90s, like a defense, that's styles make fights, and you like to see that. So,
Dude, 15 innings, no runs.
that's incredible to me. 15 innings, no runs.
And it ends on a solo walk.
Ends on a walk off. Like,
There were some pretty good plays on the infield in that game by Jose Ramirez.
yeah,
There was one where it was first and third with 2 outs, and there was a ball like dinked down the line.
I think this is on Sports Center.
And he comes across the foul line.
yeah,
Just launches it. The first baseman's in splits basically.
Yep.
That was a great play, and it saved the game for them. But
Good. I mean,
and I fucked up and forgot Terry Francona was their manager.
another Red Sox.
We didn't talk about that when we were picking that series.
No.
You've got to give that team an edge because of Francona.
He's won 2 World Series. He has been there. He
And
has been there in the
players
most
like him.
dire of circumstances.
Right.
0-4 against the Yankees.
Exactly.
He was the manager of that team. So he has talk about a guy who's seen it all.
He's
He has
got some
literally-
serious streak cred.
Yeah, he's got to tell you, he's going to be the best guy in the bar one day. He starts telling his stories. I mean, so if you're a sports guy, because he's got some whoppers.
Well, I mean, as a player, you're like, all right, I got to listen to this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he knows
Yes,
what
you
the
do.
hell he's talking about.
Because he's done the one thing you've never done.
Mm-hmm.
He's led a team back from 3-0. What have you done? Oh, nothing. Shut up. It's like, that's it.
Yeah, but I mean, they're good. Cleveland's bullpen was nasty.
Yep.
And I mean, honestly, the Rays were just as good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the first game was
from
2-0.
a pitching
The
stand.
second game was 1-0.
The Rays pitching staff did not fail them.
No.
It was the said that
couldn't hit.
it was the thing you and I said was going to kill them. They're not going to have enough offense to do it. Eventually, it's going to be their undoing. And Francona, having known that team he was in the AL, he knows their reputation.
Yeah.
He knows.
That was a tough 2 games.
Yeah, very tough 2 games, but they outpitched that team.
Yeah.
So,
but barely.
well, that's how good Tampa is.
Right.
It was a great matchup. It really was. Those two, like I said, a lot of these games, even though it didn't go 3, there was still a lot of great stuff in what we did see. So look, kudos to Cleveland. So shocked the hell out of me. And
Guardians, the only home team to win all weekend.
yeah, that's the other thing. They would that if I told you before
Never
the
would've
started,
picked that.
one team is going to hold serve and win at home. He would not. No one would have picked Cleveland. You have to pick one team. Nobody's picking Cleveland.
No way.
No way. No.
It would have been Toronto or the Mets.
Yep, Toronto or the Mets. Yep. It would have.
That's who you would have picked, and both of them got slapped around.
In very different ways. But flapping is slapping. That.
So moving on to, Guardians now go to the Bronx,
See,
which could be a really good
I got
series.
issues. If
dude.
they keep pitching
The
like
Yankees
that,
might be in trouble.
if they keep pitching like that, all bets are off, baby. Because I know I haven't seen the Yankees pitch like that all season. At all. I didn't even know. I've seen them hit the shit out of the ball, but I haven't seen them just win pitching duels.
I'll say one thing. I think the Yankees are making a mistake not putting Nestor Cortez at the top of their rotation. They're starting Garrett Cole, who, I get it, he's great. But I don't know. Nestor has had a better year.
Well, that's kind of funny then. This is a feel thing, maybe? If he had the better
I don't
years
think it's a
physically-
feel. I think it's the opposite.
Really?
He's supposed to be their ace. He's the one with the $200 million contract.
Okay.
I think it's that kind of thing.
Okay, well.
Now, I might not know shit about the Yankees. Actually, I don't know shit about
Well, all we know is they spend money. Like it's water.
But maybe I've heard this argument. I guess I've heard people talking about this, and I agree with it. Because Nestor Cortez was an all-star this year. I want to look up his stats. He was nasty. But he's not a star. You know what I'm saying? He's like a journeyman-looking type dude. Lefty. Not an overpower, but a really good pitcher.
Yeah.
And
He's like a Maddox.
Yeah, right. He's got that feel.
He has control. He's accurate. Yeah. He can hit, throw a lot. Yeah. He's not a one-trick pony.
But, what's his face? Garrett Cole, power pitcher with the hard one. You know what I mean? 2022. Nestor Cortez. 12 wins, 4 losses, 2.44 ERA.
That's filthy.
Let's look at Garrett Cole's.
That's filthy.
Yeah,
2.44.
He's been their ace in that division.
That's filthy. It's not even nasty. It's filthy.
Yeah,
It's dirty.
it's appalling.
It is appalling. It's wretched.
All right, Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad. Let me just say
Well,
that.
I'm sure it's not bad.
But 13-8 and a 3.5 ERA. He's got him beat by a full run in ERA.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, when you lose a series, the first thing you do is go back and, wrong. So, and whether or not,
That's true.
no, it's true. I've done it. We've all done it. And hindsight's 20/20. And
Yeah, but I'm saying this before it happens.
Well, I'm saying if you look at this before this happened, you look at those numbers, you don't understand it. That's why I asked you, was this a feel thing?
That's why I don't think it's a
the
feel
numbers don't make sense. Like, if you look at those numbers, it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, so you're saying maybe Aaron Boone has a feel that Garrett Cole can handle the playoffs more, or something like that.
Something like that, or that he's faced this lineup in the postseason. Whether that's true in this case, but something like that, something along those lines, where there's something in his past against the opponent that tells him, you know what,
That certainly could be true.
That could be true. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I can't confirm that. I'm saying that these are the possibilities.
I'm going to see if he's pitched against them this year.
Yeah, I mean, because it could be his regular season success against them. Maybe he's had success in the postseason against them.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, it could be any one of those things. So because the numbers don't make sense, so it's got to be something like that, I would think.
I mean, but here's the thing about Garrett Cole. Like, he is tried and true. 200 innings pitched this year.
Yeah, he's a bull.
Like,
he's a bull.
Yeah. So I'm not saying it's like a terrible decision, but I don't know. Nestor's pitched better this year, and I think I would go with him in Game 1.
I don't disagree. Oh shit!
Asshole.
That was not.
It wasn't on purpose.
That was not intentional. No, it wasn't one of those.
Yeah, I can't find that. I can't see if he pitched. It's showing me game stats, but not the whole season. I can't see if he pitched against Cleveland.
Well,
all right, but beyond that, let's go to St. Louis.
Yeah. So that was the other one. I mean,
St. Louis lost to the Phillies. That was a pretty tough one for them.
Yeah.
They're better than the Phillies, I think.
They weren't this weekend. And that's all that matters. So,
no doubt. But going in, but they had another situation where they pulled their starter too soon.
Yeah.
And you know, it didn't directly lose that game for them.
Philly, to me, also kind of reminds me of the Mariners. I mean, they have that mentality of the not afraid of the moment.
Yeah, I don't think
they don't. I don't think they're scared.
They got nothing to lose.
They're playing with house money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? No one thought we were gonna be here. Mm-hmm. This is great. No pressure. Let's go out there and just have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes that wins out too.
I mean, Philly's got a lot of talent. When you
they
look
do
at
have talent.
Their pitching and their lineup.
Philly was pretty consistent second half of the year.
Yeah,
they really were. I mean,
their defense crushed them in the first half of the year.
Yeah.
They got it. Once they fired Joe Girardi,
yeah,
that team changed.
I mean, so yeah, they were a much better team. So it was literally looks like it was that. Mm-hmm. So, but they were pretty consistent second half of the year. No, they didn't back into this thing. They earned their way in.
Yeah,
and they proved. Yeah, I don't care I don't care about your 11 World Series or 12, whatever you got. Fuck you. Okay, I didn't care.
People were shitting on Cardinals fans.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Yeah,
but like, I can't really get on Cardinals fans for leaving.
If you paid the money, as far as I'm concerned, short of you hurting someone, you can leave and come and go as you please. I mean, but you paid the money. It's your prerogative when you want to leave. Look, those Cardinal fans know that team better than you or me.
No, but
so maybe they knew it was over.
Everybody knew it was over. You went into the ninth inning up 2-0. You get the first out, nobody on, and you give up 6 runs.
6 runs.
I mean, I don't have a problem with somebody not staying for the bottom of the ninth.
Another monumental collapse.
Right. It was a bad one. No. They were, the stat that kept getting thrown around was in situations like that in the postseason, they were 93-0.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah. And I mean, look at you have a streak that long.
Basically, that'll happen 1 out of 100 times.
1 out of 100 times. And this is the night that happens. Like,
so that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, no.
That's what I'm saying. I think they were better than the Phillies.
On paper, they certainly were.
You know what I'm saying? And they totally they had one of those innings where everything goes wrong.
Yep.
And the other team does a lot of good things. Mm-hmm. Like, Philly had a lot of good at-bats in that inning. And that's why you can't be like, oh, well, they didn't do it. The Cardinals choked. No, Philly forced them into that with the at-bats they were having. Mm-hmm. But also, sometimes a pitcher just loses it. Can't throw a strike.
That is what happened to him?
Yeah, it was bad.
I mean,
it was bad.
That was one of the great enigmas of the weekend. How the hell did that happen? Nobody saw that coming. One of those deals, right? So,
but again, they pulled their starter at 76 pitches.
Yeah. That was the one. It was
Philly couldn't do anything.
That was the one that was early. He was at 76.
That's not 76 pitches.
Let him.
Okay.
Come on.
And then what that caused was you brought your closer in for 5 outs. So now your closer implodes. Now you should be able to get 5 outs, okay? But you fucked with the process for no reason.
You fucked with Uncle Mo.
You fucked with the process.
And Uncle Mo only likes to get fucked by Mrs. Mo. Okay? So, anyway,
It's just like the guy in Toronto that had just struck out 2 guys and he came out and pulled them.
you don't fuck
No.
with momentum. Because it
No.
can change on a dime.
If it's working, let it be.
Yes, let it be. Paul McCartney, we love you.
So I have to say, I have some disdain for the Cardinals.
Of course you do. They've been successful.
And I have
Sometimes at the expense of your team. So, yeah.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
so
yeah, I understand that.
I have a bet. And you know, oh my God. I think I have my positive Mets thought for tomorrow.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
And it's going to happen tonight, but then I'll carry it over.
Okay.
So we'll talk about the Cardinals. This is going to transition me into my Mets meltdown.
Yes,
Okay?
which I know is why you all tuned in.
So I have some disdain for the Cardinals because of what happened in 2006 when I believe the Mets had the best team in the majors by a long shot.
Mm-hmm.
And
And,
the Cardinals
or but.
beat them in the NLCS in 7 games. And it was a great series.
Yep. Classic. I remember that series, yeah.
Really good series. 7 games. Carlos Beltran struck out on a whose curveball? Adam Wainwright's curveball. Who caught that pitch? Yadier Molina. Okay, so to see those two go out on a shitbag game kind of brought a smile to my face. Okay,
good.
now that's not nice. That's not nice, but it's just, man, they broke my heart in '06. So to kind of see them go out with tears in their eyes, I was like, you know what? Thank you, Philly. Thanks, Phillies.
You show me the fan that hasn't had a moment like that.
Right. I'm not proud of it.
And I will tell you, that person is not really a fan.
Well, I'm not that proud of it,
It's not about proud.
you know, because
It's about they stole your dream.
Right, exactly.
So then when theirs gets crushed, like, how do you like it?
Right. But at the same time, like, their dream isn't crushed. They're accomplished as you can be.
No, but they
But
wanted
yeah,
to win that
But
thing.
yeah, it was
and
kind of
they-
like, you know what, Phillies? Thanks for giving that to them.
Yeah.
Okay?
We're still enemies in the morning, but thanks for that.
Because in the second game, there really was no offense. Bryce Harper hit a bomb, and then Philly scored a run, I think, on an RBI single or something later. But it was 2-0 going into the ninth. Pujols gets a hit. Yadier follows with a hit. It's first and third. And they pulled them both for pinch runners because they're both slow.
Uh-huh.
But then I think it was Edmund or whatever his name is. He popped out to end the game. You know, and like Yachty was like tearing up coming off the field, and he's had an amazing career.
Yes, he has.
You know,
Yes, he has.
They're both Hall of Famers, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think Wainwright's a Hall of Famer. He's pitched great for 16 years. No, it might be 20 years.
He gets in, probably not in the first ballot, but probably in the second.
I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah.
So, but here's my thing. I think maybe we've exercised that.
There's that word.
You know, we've exercised that demon of Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright because now they're both retiring.
Well, that would be it, wouldn't it?
So now they're out of the league. Maybe now the Mets can win.
There's a final
Dear
with
God,
them?
did that just pop open on you?
Yes, but why? I didn't even touch it.
Yeah, no, actually, that's a pathetic Mets take by me.
That's
That is a pathetic
It's a
take
pathetic
on
Mets
the
take.
Mets. That Yadier and Adam Wainwright retiring would somehow release the demons and allow the Mets to win a World Series.
Probably not.
Not the truth.
No. So anyway,
Let's get to the Mets.
that leads us into the place you've all been dying for him to go for about 28 minutes now.
Jeez, 28 minutes.
So, well, we were recapping what was a very eventful, fun weekend of baseball.
But tonight I let go of my demons.
You gonna let him go?
I'm going to let them go.
This is the part where I get my popcorn out. All right, this is it.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
I'm not
I'm not carrying this burden.
I'm gonna
with
let
me.
I'm gonna let Father Tom give us a soliloquy here or a sermon, whatever it's
Father
gonna be.
God.
Father, yeah. I'm gonna sit back like I'm in church, and I'm just gonna nod, raise my eyebrows, think to myself, and then to my son. See, he knows what he's talking about. So
Is this like my Sermon on the Mount?
this
Is this my Jesus moment?
I don't know what it's going to be. I just know that I've been waiting for 24 hours for it.
It's not going to be that good.
Oh, that's not true.
Because, okay,
Well-
so even though it's been 24 hours, the emotion is still raw. It's still very raw. And I'm on this, that curve of sports grief?
It's free. Look, it's freezing up.
What the hell's going on? Did you put that in the freezer?
No, it was right over here. No. Anyway,
No, it is from the freezer. That's why it popped.
Why was it in the freezer?
Is there ice?
There's ice in there. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll put it outside. You continue.
You ruined my Mets meltdown.
No, it's all right.
With a damn can
I
explosion.
promise you can do it. Let's melt that.
All right. So, what do we want to talk about with the Mets? You know, I think.
How about that?
Well, hang on a second. Hang on a second.
I got my.
So I'm on my curve right now. Okay, and as soon as it happened, I turned the game off. When what was happening? It was 4-0. I turned the game
Oh,
off.
for you didn't see the. Okay.
I didn't see the what?
The other one that made 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I get really frustrated, I turn the game off on the TV, and I watch the little play-by-play on my ESPN or MLB app. You know, where you can see like strike 1 and
Yep.
strike 2.
Yep. And
You know, so I wasn't actually watching it, but I think on this grief curve, I've started to come to acceptance and move forward, which is pretty quick in 24 hours for me.
that's pretty good. I'm impressed.
But it really just sucks, man, because it felt like, and I always say like they didn't show up. It felt like they weren't there on Friday or Sunday.
It was weird.
Like the team just wasn't there.
That was weird.
And, you know, couldn't find a way to hit. Pitching wise, just really couldn't get the bottom of the order out.
That was weird. I couldn't understand that.
You know, like
they struggled with them.
8-9 hitters.
Yeah, just making them look like Dan Ortiz and Ramirez.
Exactly.
I'm like, how about
the 8-9 hitters for the Padres? My God.
God, Lord.
Aaron Nola's little brother and freaking Trent Grisham. Like, at one point, there was a man on second, and Eduardo Perez is like, I can't believe with a base open, they're pitching to Grisham. And in my head, I was like, are you kidding me? We're going to intentionally walk the 8-hitter? But at the same time, that's who freaking killed them.
Yeah.
So maybe he was right. But God, I mean, Scherzer couldn't get him out. DeGrom gave up a bomb to him. And then,
Yeah, he was.
like, what the heck? The guy hit 174.
Yeah.
So
He was a pain in the ass.
I guess, to me, here's what happened for the Mets this weekend. They saw Max Scherzer get destroyed, and I don't think they could recover from that. Now, I don't know if that's true, because they won on Saturday.
That's what I'm saying. They won on Saturday.
So,
In almost as convincing a fashion as the Padres did on Friday.
well, I mean, the Padres had the tying run at the plate in the 9th inning in that game.
They ended up winning 7-2, didn't they?
7-3.
Oh, 7.
Bases were loaded. They had to strike somebody out with the bases loaded or
but-
get them to roll out.
Which they did.
They did. They did.
So,
But I think that
but they
setting that tone-
led wire to wire is what I'm saying.
But my thing is like this. Maybe it's not that they couldn't recover, but if they win Game 1, they sweep the series. Game 1 gave the Padres that feeling like, God, we're fucking better than these bums.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I think. Like when Grisham goes yard off of Scherzer,
Yeah.
and Josh Bell, who's been hitting under 200, goes yard off of Scherzer.
there was
now
no-
it's like, fuck these guys. We
there was
we
no
can hit.
fear after
no,
that.
exactly.
Or any hint of intimidation
And
whatsoever.
it was actually reversed.
Which is rare because Scherzer, that's part of his calling.
He's the
card.
bulldog.
He's the bulldog.
But last night, Joe Musgrove pitched the way Max Scherzer should have pitched.
Yeah.
Like he was screaming, "Fuck yeah!" every time he struck out. And at the end of the inning.
He was playing on emotion.
Yeah.
And like, no, we're winning this thing. We're the better team.
Yeah.
We know it, and we're going to just put you down. And not for
And they
this.
were.
And they were. They were the better team. So when you win that convincingly, you're the better team.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like the Padres, to me, drastically underachieved with the regular season.
They did. They really did. They coasted.
So while the
kinda
Mets'
cruise
record is way better than theirs, the Mets are not that much better than the Padres. And looking at September, maybe the Mets overachieved for some of the season
Maybe. I don't
and
know,
then
maybe.
started underachieving towards the end.
People thought they were talented. People thought they could be good. I only even predicted 100 wins.
Right. So maybe the Mets overachieved a little bit. Padres underachieved a little bit, which means, hey, this is going to be a good friggin' series.
Well,
and the Mets were not ready for it.
It was the one that went 3, but that game 3 was very demoralizing. And if you're like competitiveness, I'm sitting there screaming, one fucking hit the whole game. I mean, one hit,
Right.
one hit. Like that.
I think they had 2 base runners.
Maybe. One fucking hit. I still can't get that out of my head. In a deciding game on your field.
Do you know how many hits the other team had?
10.
10.
Yeah.
10 hits, 6 runs, 1 hit, no runs.
Nothing.
You can't win that game.
You can't win that. You just
Ever.
You can't even. You don't even look like you belong.
No,
and
you didn't.
I felt bad for my friend. Now look, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. New York is New York to me. But for my friend, who I know this is his team, and I bleed like this way for the Patriots and the Celtics. I know where he's coming from. I know what that pain is like. And the Mets on paper should have won this series. They were the better team on paper. Didn't play out that way. That's why I don't play it on paper.
But actually, on paper, I don't know.
Well, I thought the Mets were the better team on paper. Not that it was not by a wide margin, but I thought they were the better team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're probably right.
And I thought they had the pitchers. And good, look, DeGrom did it. He showed up. Nothing bad to say about him. He did his job.
Yeah.
But
Bassett
for Scherzer to lay an egg like that,
that hurt them.
Yeah.
He wins that game, then you got DeGrom following.
Yeah, I think
you win the series.
I thought they were going to sweep them for that reason. But I don't think anybody predicted.
Yeah, see, I let you get me optimistic about this series.
Well, you couldn't tell me Scherzer was going to lay an egg like that. Nobody would have predicted that.
Oh no,
nobody.
But
that was a shock.
What was
you were
I
worried
saying
about
all
DeGrom.
season? What was I saying all season?
About what?
They needed to win the division. This just proves it.
I don't. That may or may not be true. We'll see what happens.
We'll
see what happens with the 2 teams that won the division.
If they had won the division, they'd be playing Philly next, who they went 14-5 against. They went 2-4 against the Padres.
Yeah, that's a small sample size.
I know, but they got beat.
The Philly argument.
games.
The Philly argument is more compelling. That one to me makes more sense because the numbers aren't even close. 14-5.
They crushed the Phillies.
To me, that makes sense. So, but what I would say to that is, let's see what happens with the teams that did win the divisions. Because if 2 or 3 of them get knocked out next round, then you can't say that either.
Yeah.
So if all 4 of them advance, okay. All right.
You better win the division.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be funny to see how these series impact.
Because there's such a thing as sitting for too long, too. There's a happy medium there, and you can go over it,
Well, so last game of the season was last Wednesday.
This is going to freeze. Yeah.
Okay. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they're playing tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5 full days of rest. You think that impacts anybody?
I think it could. I don't know.
I kind of feel like the Yankees.
I think it could.
I think
because
teams that hit bombs.
I mean, if they're, if you're banged up and you need that team, it helps. But if you're kind of just cruising along, or maybe you locked up certain things early, and you kind of been in cruise mode for the past 2 or 3 weeks. Now you're gonna get 5 days off. Even though you've been playing,
it's a lot.
It's a lot because you weren't in a must-win scenario for maybe 6-7 weeks. Who the hell?
Well, I mean, that's the Astros, the Yankees, the Dodgers.
I'm saying
the Braves have been battling.
The Braves have been battling.
Since
So
June.
I don't think in the case of the Braves it's going to affect them. I think
Braves
their
probably
team
used some
they
time
need
off.
it,
Yeah.
but the other 3 kind of locked everything up. I mean, the Yankees were chasing the Astros for a while, but they fell. But whatever. Point is that.
I think the Braves are the best team left.
They might be because of they have also been playing in that situation, that mindset, that scenario for about 6 weeks now. Hell, longer than that. They've been chasing the Mets all season, basically.
They went on their run starting June 1st.
So, I mean, to me, they're the most dangerous team.
That's a long time to sustain that type of baseball.
But the thing is, you're used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the difference. Like, the Dodgers, whoever's drawing them, who do they, is it the...
The Dodgers get the Padres.
Yeah, they
own the Padres.
Yeah,
but the Padres are playing really well right now.
So who knows? What I'm saying, who's Atlanta playing?
Philly.
So, listen.
They should mop the floor with
I'm
Philly.
saying they might mop the floor with Philly. Not because Philly's not good, but these guys have been in that mode. They're like...
The Braves are a lot better than the Phillies.
Yeah, well... They are on paper. We'll see what happens.
Well, but also you have to take into account Philly just threw their 1-2.
That's the other thing. They'd be down.
So they're going to go.
Now, is this best out of 5 or best out of 7?
Best out of 5.
Okay, best out of 5.
So that's tough.
That is tough. They'd be down 0-2 before they blink.
Where the Braves could throw 2 of their top starters.
Yeah. That's tough.
Twice.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, yeah.
I guess it depends on how many games are in between game 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a day in between in the second round, or when because they switch sites. I think they have a day off in the middle.
Yeah, because it's 2-2-1.
Yeah, I think they have a day off between game 3 and 4.
So maybe one pitcher can
game
go
2 and
twice
3,
in
rather.
that series.
Yeah,
Like you could potentially pitch game 1 and game 5.
probably.
You're probably not
If
gonna
you
be
got
able
your
to-
race, yeah.
You're probably not going to be able to pitch 1 and 4, and then the person who pitches 2 pitch 2 and 5. I don't think you could
probably
do
not.
that.
I mean,
Let me see what the schedule is.
yeah. Anyway, so I mean, this is what we thought could happen in terms of the matchups. So we thought they were all good. We were shocked that there'd be a sweep. There ended up being 3 of them, but we thought they were all going to go like 3 games. Actually, the one series I thought was going to be sweep was the one that went 3 games. Which shows what I know. So anyway, but
And I only picked that to be a sweep because I can never pick against my team.
no, I thought Matt Scherzer was going to impose his will. Instead, you got bent over. No lube. How's that?
So on my way walking down to your house,
Yeah.
I opened up Instagram, and Steve Gelbs had a post and was like, I know it wasn't the ending we want. Steve Gelbs is the Mets sideline reporter. He's great.
Okay.
And he had a post on Instagram. I know it wasn't the ending we wanted, but there was a ton of memories. And he had this video montage of like all the good memories from this year. And it was actually, it kind of made me feel good.
Well, that's good. Then it did its job.
Yeah. I was like, thank you, Steve Gelbs. I fucking needed that.
That's a good man, looking out for the people. He's a fan.
Right. He's a fan.
He's a fan. He's a man of the people. You know, he knows
works for the team, but he's a fan.
He knows what you're feeling,
Right.
Because he's feeling it too.
Yeah.
So,
well, and he's got personal relationships with people on the
saying
team.
for him, it's probably even more.
You know, so
He's got
even though he's a reporter, you can tell like he likes the guys, and
Yeah.
you know, he's friends with the announcers and stuff. But that helped me because, I mean, even though it sucks, and I feel like it's a repeat of what the Mets do a lot, it was still a great year. It's just a disappointing finish, really a disappointing last month. And that's, I think, what was tough is that typically the Mets get our hopes up, but by like July or August, they're done. This was one of those situations where like our hopes were up early, then they stayed up the next month. They stayed up the month after that, and we're like, wow, this team is really good. They stayed up the next month. We're like, holy shit, this team is really good. And then September comes, the 6th month, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, they had a bad game against the Nats. It's like, all right, they're fine. They can't win every game. Like, oh, they had another bad game against the Nats.
I know
Shit.
this is true because I lived it.
And then it's like, God, 2 in a row to the Nats.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, they won one. Okay, so they won 1 out of 3 against the Nats. It's not bad. Go to play the Pirates, lose the first game to the Pirates. Oh man, another bad game against the Pirates. Oh, but they won a doubleheader the next day. Okay, they're okay. And it kept happening like that. Like we were so bought in as fans, because what we saw every month of the season for 5 months was a really consistent team. Not a perfect team, but like did things right and didn't lose because of dumb shit. And when they lost, it was like, all right, but you know, at the end of that game, we had 2 men on and the tying run at the plate. Like it always felt like they were competing.
They were competing. Yeah.
It always felt like they were competing.
Sure.
And then September came and something happened where teams were more competitive than them.
Yeah.
And that's what kind
That's
of
a good
breaks your
word.
heart.
That's actually a good word for it. Because
You know?
it wasn't that they weren't competing, but the other teams, for some reason, they were able to go over that.
They were
level.
more competitive.
They were more
It's like
competitive.
it's like when you see
And they weren't, in most cases, playing for what the Mets were playing.
exactly.
That's the weird thing.
It's like
Yeah.
sometimes you look out at
That's
the
the weird
field
thing.
and you see your team like fighting. Like when they score a run, they get up pumping fists, like they're charging into the dugout, like everybody is on fire. And from September to the first weekend in October, the Mets were not that team. The other team was always that team against them.
Yeah.
It was almost like the Mets were good, and now everybody was playing them like they were really good. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, y'all motherfuckers think you're the best team in the league? All right.
Yeah.
We just took 2 out of 3 from you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And these teams are 20, 40 games under 500.
Yeah, there was some.
You're playing the Nats, who are 40 games under?
I remember the first time you brought that up, that was the first time I lost a series to a team with a losing record.
Right. And I was trying to talk myself off the ledge and say, look, it happens.
Because you're like, it happens once in a while. But you're not wrong.
Right.
What you couldn't see happening, because we can't tell the future, is that this was the starting of a snowball effect.
Exactly.
That culminated in that disastrous one-hit, no-show performance the other night.
Exactly.
Because there were signs along the way that he didn't ignore them. I did. I kept trying to.
You were trying to keep me positive.
Yeah, well, I kept. Well,
and I was over-indexing on them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it meant all-out collapse.
Yeah.
But I have that cynical mindset as a Mets fan.
The thing is, it's like Scherzer is the one that I can't understand. He's the last guy you'd think would have a game like that.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Scherzer. And I remember when they signed him, and I was like, God, $43 million a year for a 37 or 38-year-old. Okay? But then I was like, fuck it. Like, Steve Cohen's got the money. Who cares?
He pitches once every 5 days.
I know. But he has been known to have dead arm at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. Last year with the Dodgers, that happened to him.
Yeah.
Where they were in a playoff run.
Yeah.
And I think he had dead arm. And this has happened to him in his career. So that's the tough part. Is like, it's not about, like, I don't care that we gave Max Scherzer $43 million.
Yeah.
Good for Steve Cohen.
Yeah.
We needed that guy.
Yeah.
But you also have to realize, okay, now you're banking so much money on a guy that's almost 40, and it's tough to ask him to pitch a full season, which he didn't pitch a full season.
Who has a history of dead arm?
Dead arm. Because he's all out. Like, he doesn't go out there and just freaking soft toss.
Yeah.
Every pitch is everything of him.
Yeah.
So it's tough when you rely on a guy like that. Like, he could break down towards the end of the season. And everything that I heard experts say is something had to have been wrong.
Well,
that's not Max. That's not Max Scherzer.
Not him. When have he had a game like that?
Right.
I mean, he's had off nights.
Well, no, he had a
not
game
like that.
He had the game like that a week ago in Atlanta. That's what's
That's
really
true.
shitty. It wasn't this bad.
It wasn't this bad.
But it was 4 runs.
Yeah, it was 4 runs.
It was 2 bombs.
Yeah.
In the biggest spot of the year, twice in a row.
Yeah.
Now DeGrom had that game in Atlanta. Now he only gave up 3 runs, but 3 solo bombs.
Yeah.
But then DeGrom showed up. And
when DeGrom got in trouble, he pulled a Pedro. He pitched his way out of it.
Yeah.
He basically just reminded himself who he was, and then he just said, that's it.
Yeah.
And then he just shut the door. And that's something that I see Pedro do whenever he got in trouble, which was rare. But
when DeGrom had runners on and he struck out Machado and Bell back to back.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was big.
That's what I'm talking about. That was that moment like, wait a minute, who am I? No, this is over. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, because the Mets were in the lead, and then
Yep.
he gives up the lead. It's tied 2-2, and the Padres have 1 out and
that's when
first
he
and
went,
third. Boop, boop, boop.
So he showed up.
Yeah, he did.
And that's the thing. So, I mean.
But see, and that's it. So, like, DeGrom, to me, was competitive that night.
Yeah.
The bats were competitive that night.
They put up 7 runs.
Something happened at some point in the season where the Mets went from we can win in any situation to if we score first, we're going to dominate you. Mm-hmm. If we don't, never know what's going to happen. Mm. And, like, that's what it felt like both nights. It was like you give up a 2-run home run and everybody's just
the air goes out of the stadium. Yeah,
and it's weird. Like at the beginning of the season, the Mets came back against the Cardinals down 2-0 in the 9th, against the Phillies down 7-1 in the 9th. Mm-hmm. They had big comebacks against Philly on multiple occasions. They came back in a ton of games, but towards the end of the year, they did not have that. I guess it's that competitive spirit, like the fire.
Lost a sense of urgency.
Maybe they did. It seemed like it, at least.
No, baby. When you look at how they bowed out, it certainly feels that way.
But like,
it's certainly like, how do you explain that? Like, how do you not manufacture 4 hits? A couple of bunts. How do you not, with a team that talented, not manufacture in a game like that?
Yeah. But the other side of that is
this pitcher for the other team who wasn't their ace, right?
Musgrove is an ace.
But he's not their ace. Who's their best pitcher?
Well, you pick Yu Darvish, Ian Snell, or Joe Musgrove.
They got 3 aces.
I mean,
okay, because he was acting like, "Fuck you."
I mean, he has.
That was his attitude all night long. Fuck you.
Yeah.
This series ends tonight.
Well, his ERA in September was ridiculous.
He pitched ridiculous.
Yeah,
he really did.
But that's the other thing. It's like sometimes, what if Joe Musgrove just was that good
that night
that they can't hit him?
Yeah.
And it's like we sit here and go, you no-showed, you didn't have the competitiveness. It's like, no, this motherfucker is throwing the ball exactly where he wants to.
He's painting.
Right. Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
And I will say, last night, there wasn't many times I went, why'd you swing at that? Mm-hmm. Like, his stuff was just nasty. Mm-hmm. And anytime they made contact, it wasn't hard contact.
It was
in
off
the
zone.
end of the bat, you know, off
he was
the
in
handle.
the zone from the very first pitch.
Yeah.
And
Bassett was not.
He knew the moment. He understood it, and he rose to it. So that's simple. And the other guy didn't. So, in any event, Mets, you suck.
Don't talk about my Mets. Only I can tell my Mets they suck.
I can tell them they suck.
No.
One hit, you suck.
Stop that. Dude, but let me, okay, we didn't talk about a big part of this game.
Which was?
That, to me, it wasn't even a big deal, but probably because I'm pissed they lost.
What?
But the rant that Michael Wilbon went off on.
Oh, God.
About when Buck asked him to check his ears.
Yeah.
So, first of all, let me just say, it was embarrassing, okay? Oh. To be getting one hit, and you have to go out and accuse the guy of cheating, and then you're wrong, that was embarrassing. Oh, but, like, Michael Wilbon said he hopes Buck Showalter doesn't win another baseball game in his entire life.
Because he did that?
Because he did that. I'm like, oh, my God, is it that?
I mean,
is it that big a deal? Like, I think he was like, let me just go fuck with this dude's timing.
I understand Michael Wilbon being upset about it, but that's a little extreme.
Yeah. People started posting on Twitter his ears. And they were like, people are posting and zoomed up pictures on Twitter of his ear. And they're saying he's got Vaseline on his ears. Yeah. And they were tagging the Mets sideline reporter in it.
Oh, my God.
So, however, the information got to the dugout.
This came from some fans?
Well, who knows? But that's what Twitter does.
Wow.
So somebody who has access to the front office or somebody in the front office probably said, hey, people are taking pictures of this guy's ears. Now, in addition to that, they calculate spin rate nowadays. Mm-hmm. So that's one of these analytical things.
Yeah.
A guy's spin rate, the higher the spin rate, the more effective.
More velocity.
But also more movement in breaking pitches.
Yeah.
Okay, so
makes sense.
So basically, when it goes, they know the guy's average spin rate.
Yeah.
All night, Musgrove's spin rate was up on all his pitches.
So they're thinking that this may have had...
Which a lot of times means, okay, the guy's using a sticky substance to get a different grip on the ball. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think Buck was in one of those situations where he's damned if he does and damned if he don't.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting those text messages in the middle of a game, what do?
Well, I got to find out who it's coming from, first of all. Because the source has a lot to do with this.
That's true. No, but... So
because if I want to go out on national TV
right.
and make an accusation like that, I'm not getting it from some drunk fan in the behind the third base line.
No, this is somebody taking a picture of their TV.
Well, either or.
But here's the thing.
Either or.
But the spin rate stats. But the spin rate stats are there. The spin rate stats are legit.
Can you imagine?
Dude, but I'm saying the spin rate
goes back
stats
at
are
the
legit.
guy, or the person goes, "Please, who is this? Identify." And I go, "It's Russell K, sir. I've been a fan for 56 years. My father," like, click. Just like, I mean, but I hope that's not where his source came from, because that's even worse. So now,
that probably is. No, but the spin rate stuff is legitimate. Like the
broadcast, there's a lot of things that could cause that.
The broadcasters were talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but my thing is, look. It was embarrassing. He shouldn't have done it because you can watch the game. I never saw Joe Musgrove touch his ear. No. ever.
He never did.
He never went like this before pitch.
I watched all of that game. I never saw him.
Never saw it once.
Not once.
Now, so who cares if his ears are shiny?
I was probably swearing at the TV more than he was, because. But I kept going. I looked this kid up. I forgot, but he is a stud. So I'd get
He's
mad.
He's the only no hitter in San Diego Padres history.
I get mad, but then I go back to his numbers. I'm like, the guy's a stud. But I'm like, but come on, these guys are studs too. They got to be able to manufacture something. It was just he just mowed them down. He pulled the Pedro. He shut the door and said, nope, you're going home tonight. That's it. It's over. I decided it. The rest of you can all go home. Thanks for the memories. And that was it. And he made that decision. And he pitched it that way the entire time he was in the game.
Yeah.
And never gave the Mets a glimmer of hope. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even a glimmer. A little like we can get something like that. He walked two guys. No, nothing. No. He did nothing. I think they might have got one man to second base. I don't even know if they did. I don't even know if they did.
They did. We did.
Yeah.
On a fielder's choice. So Marte was on first. Yeah. And somebody hit a ball to first. Marte got to second. But nothing after that.
And that was it.
Yeah.
One guy on a fielder's choice got to second.
Yeah.
If that isn't dominance, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what is.
Exactly.
So, I mean.
They got dominated. And that's the thing. It's like, I feel bad saying, like, their competitive fire wasn't there, because I think they were trying as hard as they could. They just got owned. Which sucks. And like, Seattle has that cockiness about them. You know, Soto at the plate staring the pitcher down every time he throws a ball.
Yeah.
Every time there's a close pitch and a pitcher looks in towards the ump, you can see Soto going, nah, that wasn't a strike. Talking shit to the catcher.
Yeah.
Like, and then, you know, after Musgrove, after they were touching his ears, actually before they were touching his ears, every time he would end an inning on a strikeout, he would scream, fuck yeah!
Yes.
And look at the hitter.
He looked at the hitter.
And it was like, I hate seeing my guys get bitched like that.
Punked.
You were just getting bitched left and right, and I hated seeing it.
That's what I couldn't understand. Where was the person that these motherfuckers doing this?
but I think
where
it's like, but what if somebody's
where
just
was
where
was the response?
Yeah.
There was nothing.
I just wanted them to hit one.
They didn't even pull a Rudy Stein and lean in and let one hit him and get on base. I mean, do something.
Yeah.
I mean,
bunt.
Bunt. Do something. Change it up on the guy. Make him think. I mean, I don't understand. Again, and the kid's that good. I get it. But the response when he kept doing it.
He did it multiple
times. And they just basically went.
Right.
Like, no.
I just would have liked to see him yell, fuck you back.
That looked like a team that was ready to get off that stage and go fishing.
That sucked.
That's what it looked like. So,
that sucked, man.
Yeah, man, I'm very sorry for my friend who has to endure that. And because
next year's a mystery now.
Next year's a mystery. And what are they going to do in the off season? Do they go get the judge? Does he ante up and just pay for everybody and say fucking go balls to the wall? Who knows what he's going to do? After
I don't want him to do that.
Why? You need to win.
I know.
You need to win.
I understand. But I also I want to make sure. I would rather us do this again for 3 more years, and us build our team from within, and be good for 20 years like the Atlanta baseball team. Like, I don't, whatever he does, I don't want him to lose sight of the long game.
I don't think he will.
That is what happened to the Wilpons over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. They had no big picture vision, and we had tiny little spurts every, sometimes it was 20 years, sometimes it's every 6 years. I want the
Bye, Bonilla. Still making a paycheck?
Dude, that is such a cheap argument.
I know.
Everybody kills the Mets for paying Bobby Bonilla.
Was it $1 million?
$1.2 million for 25 years. When I tell you, there are going to be teams paying Max Scherzer way more money than that in 10 years. Mm-hmm. The Dodgers or the Nats, they deferred so much money, you're going to laugh at what the Mets are paying Bobby Bonilla. Because just wait till you see
the market's changed.
Right. And also, a lot of teams do what the Mets did with Bobby Bonilla.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not that big a deal.
No, it's not, because they're just you're paying them.
They just defer money. Now they're paying him $1 million a year. Who cares?
Who cares?
But
he earned that money. He signed the contract.
No, he was very smart.
Yeah.
He was like, we could give you $5 million now or $20 million over 25 years or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? 20 million sounds good. I'll retire on that.
I'll retire on that. Yeah, I'll do whatever I want.
So
at
good
$1.9
for him.
million, your house is already bought and paid for anyway.
Right.
So there's your biggest expense right out the
Exactly.
fucking thing.
Exactly.
Now it's about
Put some away for when you need to go to a home.
you can literally take 5 trips a year or 6 trips a year and still not spend that money in a year and not even come close.
Yeah.
So I mean,
But so next year, so I'm just saying, I just want them to be smart and build the organization. Because next year, DeGrom's a free agent.
yeah.
Bassett is a free agent. Edwin Diaz, best closer in baseball, free agent. Brandon Nimmo, your stud center fielder and leadoff hitter, free agent. You have no catcher, okay? I don't know if Jeff McNeil. I don't think Jeff McNeil is a free agent. Taijuan Walker, one of your starters, is a free agent. So Bassett and Taijuan Walker, both free agents. So is DeGrom. That's 3 of your 5 pitchers.
Yeah. So
I mean, they
you
got
gotta
a
make
lot
decision.
to think about.
Got to make a decision. Got to make the right one, long term. To his point. So anyway, we're gonna close off segment 1. We're back to segment 2 in a few minutes. Recap of the football week 5. Oh my God! And it's
Great
a game,
football week.
Great football week. And hey, Dallas Cowboys. Holy crap, they're for real. And so is another team from up north, I might add. We'll get into that
The
in
Giants?
segment 2.
You talking about the Giants?
It is Man Up Monday. That is a redoubtable one. I am the highly questioned one. We will see you on the other side.
That wasn't that miserable of a rant.
No, it really wasn't. It's almost depressing in a way.